कोई बात नहीं यार, डज़न्ट मैटर। अब तो आदत सी है मुझको, आप लोगों को समझ आ ही गया होगा। चलें, गुड। चलें जी, वेलकम बैक। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर जॉइनिंग इन। लास्ट टाइम वी डिड something called harf of nasab. My first question, is there any question? Is there anything that still remains unclear in what we discussed? Let me give a quick summary first, and then you can rethink. If there is a question, then you can ask and clarify. Okay, this topic is a very small topic and pretty easy topic. So I think we should be okay with that. But if not, then happy to revise it a little bit more. Okay. So what we did in Harf of Nasab is we looked at the set of harfs. Now, if we remember those harfs, inna, anna, anna, or ka anna, and be anna. These were the ones that I gave you a trick, and I said if you can remember up till anna, then you can add a kaf and a b to it, and then it is ka anna and be anna. Inna anna ka anna be anna. Right? Do you remember these helps, guys? Any quick question? Anything troubling you in these ones so far? I know you don't know the meanings yet, and we have not done it. We'll do it today, inshallah. Yeah. But from the perspective of retaining them in your mind, it's important that you can say it out by heart. Okay? Inna anna ka anna bi anna. Okay? The second set I gave you was laita, lakinna, la'alla. Laita, lakinna, la'alla. And the trick was they all started with the lam. Okay? So there are three sets. Overall, 7 hurufs, and that's it. Inna anna ka anna bi anna laita lakinna la anna. So for these hurufs, what we said is, so whenever the job of these harfs is to make the ism nasab. That's what they do, just like harf of jar. So whenever they find an ism that is their ism, they will make it jar. So make their ism jar. Okay. Now there can be long distance relationship. Long distance relationship. This means, of course, and there can be a gap between the harf and the ism that is to come. Okay? So there can be a long distance relationship. They never exist without their isms. Okay? You will not see these huruf independently. And of course, the basic definition of harf is that it doesn't make sense unless there is another word comes after it. So this is the harf. They generally don't operate independently. They need something. And these ones will never exist without their ism. Okay, so that's effectively it, what we discussed. So we did not discuss the meanings of these hurufs. So far in this understanding, is there any question, anything unclear? जो कि आपको ना समझ आया हो? Do I need to revise anything? Yes, no, no. Silence means no.
Last one, but they never exist without their ism. तो
So this means that if you, sorry, your question complete करें, please.
मुझे याद पड़ता है ism doesn't have to be in the same sentence.
We never discuss sentences. It's a different topic. Doesn't have to be in the same ayah. Right? So it can be in a different ayah. So ayah is not necessarily a sentence all the time. Okay? So it could be anywhere, but it will not be super distant. That's very unlikely. It's super distant. So starting of the page, you find the harf, and end of the second page, you find the nasab. That's not how it is. It has to be contextual. So Inshallah, when we see the examples, you will understand. But they can be some long distance relationship. Okay. So what we want to do today is I want to make sure that you know the meanings, and then we go to the exercise. We close the exercise. We see some Quranic examples in your notes, and then we move on. So if there is any question, then we can address it there. Okay. Okay. So the meanings. Inna is one of the widely used harfs, and you have studied it many times. Okay. By the way, before I tell you that, I did tell you about their relationship with pronouns, right? So I told you that when we have a pronoun that starts with a noon, that starts with a noon. I think Shamswa is joining. Wait a second. Assalamu alaikum, Shamswa.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम फहद भाई सर मैं ड्राइव कर रहा हूँ तो मैं ज़्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर पाऊंगा सर
No problem, no problem. Jazakallah for joining. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we said was if there is any pronoun that starts with a noon, they can connect to this pronoun in two different ways. So with a noon, if we have a pronoun starting with a noon, then they can connect with that pronoun in two ways. One way was merging the noons, two noons, and two keeping them apart. And what are the examples? So in the first one, the example would be, for example, you have the harf inna. You have the harf inna, and this inna has to attach with the nasab version of nahnu, which is na, right? And so it can attach in two ways. If you merge it, it's going to attach like this. So it's going to say inna and just the alif. It's not going to separate the two noons. It's going to smoosh the two noons together. And when you see inna, it is actually inna plus na. That's what you see. Okay, so it's a harf of nasab, inna, combined with the nasab version of nahn. In the other example, if you do the same thing here, okay. If you do the same thing here, for example, you have inna, and then you want to attach it, let's say, with the ni, the attached version, the nasab version of ana. Okay? So that's what you want to attach. So you're going to attach it. Okay, let me go back to na example and then come to ni example. So you can now you still want to attach it with na, which is the nasnu version, and it still begins with the noon. So what you're going to do is you are going to not smush the noons together, keep them separate. Okay, so the first one is going to be inna, and then you're going to attach the another one, innana. Okay? These two cases, they mean the same thing, innana and inna. They are same. There's no difference, right? But there's two different ways of writing it, right? So whenever you have attached pronouns with a harf that is ending with a noon, like inna, anna, ka'anna, bi anna, so it can either go in the first way by merging two noons together, or it can go in the second way by not merging them together. So you have both examples in the Quran. Okay, so this is important to know because then you need to detect them in the Quran when you see them. So inna atayna kal kausar, for example, is this one. Okay, the first one. So certainly we. Okay? That's what it would mean to. Okay? Same with ni, the attached version of the ana. So in that particular case, you will do inna and ni. Because you have ni, this ni is going to be attached to inna. So what you will do is merge the two noons together, and the only thing remaining then is the ya. So it will become inni, and because of the ya, it's not possible for you to recite the fatha on the top. So you'll just kill the fatha, and the sound will take the sound of ya, inni. Okay? This is the impact of ya that it puts forward on anything. So if you have fatha, dhamma, kasra, no matter what on the first word, it overrules it completely, overrides that sound. So that's why you just skip that sound and just read it like a ya, inni. But it's still inna and ni. So if you keep them separate in such cases, so that is going to be inna ni. That's simpler. Okay? Inna ni. Both are same things. Okay, so that's a reminder that you should keep in mind. Inshallah, when we do more and more practice in the Quran, these things will become super convenient to you. So that was harf of nasab. And please stop me if you have any questions or anything that still remains unclear. Now I'm going to give you Ji Farhan.
Acha, when were studying harf of jar, so
Ji.
we were told that like we have to see the jar also, and that a harf is connected. So we were telling that that is a harf of jar. Like why is it's a connecting also, but it is also a jar, harf of jar. But like you said, uh, the harf of nasab makes an ism nasab, but
Ji.
that is help to, for example, if we have to find first that it's a nasab and there is a harf attached to it, or these harf make automatically the ism nasab.
No, you will not find the ism first. You will spot the harf first. When
Yeah.
you spot this harf first, that will automatically mean that there has to be an ism in nasab for them.
Okay.
Okay. So it's from harf to the ism, not from ism to the harf. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
That's the flow. Okay. So inna, one of the widely used harf in the Quran, many of us know it. It means certainly. Certainly, it is used to create that assurance, and many times it's also used as for sure. For sure. So if we say inna, this one, inna, the one that I've highlighted above, we know the meaning of na is us or we or our. Okay? So if you attach certainly with that meaning, what would it become? Certainly us, or certainly ours, or certainly we. That's what it will become. Okay. So if you read inna ata means to grant. Okay. And so ataina means we granted. So inna ataina is certainly we granted, right? Or for sure we granted. So there is an emphasis thing to it. And you use certain these words even in your own language when you want to put a bit more emphasis on what you're saying. There's one way of saying, guys, you should remember what I'm teaching you. And the other way of saying it, you should certainly for sure remember what I'm teaching you. There is a difference, right? So I'm putting a little bit more emphasis on because it's important. So when you spot inna, you will find those things in the Quran where Allah uses inna to put that emphasis. Okay. Okay. Anna. Anna means that. I'm really struggling with the font sizes. Wait a second. Yeah, like the 5 color. 18. Is it 18? Okay, 18. Let's work with 18. That. Now that is it's not the pointer that, it's the connector that. Just like in the vow case, you have two vows. There is a vow which is oath, which is harf of jar, but there is also a connector vow. right? So this one is a connector that. So I like the fact that we have this class. This, that is this, that. Okay. It's not like that cow or that car is great. That's a pointer that. That's different. Okay. Inna anna ka anna. Ka anna means as though, or sometimes as if. Ka anna. Do you remember what was the meaning of the kaf in harf of jar? Bata kaf. Any thoughts? Throw it on the table. Wrong or right doesn't matter. No,
Like,
like, like. That kaf is used for comparison, right? So, like. So we also have a kaf here. Ka anna. And you see the meaning as though, as if. It's kind of you're sort of comparing again, right? So that will help you remember. Okay, so whenever you see kaf in these two hurufs, kaf and ka'anna, you kind of comparing it with something in some shape and form, right? As though and as if. Bi
means
anna
like
is,
that, just
sorry?
like that. It's mean like that. Kanna like that, comparing. Like that. Anna means that and ka means like that, right?
Anna means that. No, I won't say like that. Let's stick to as though. As though in Urdu we say tashbih dena, jaise, right? Analogy. Together. That is also used to compare, na? So stick to as though. Don't do it like that. Like that would be a little bit different. Okay, so inshallah that will become clear when we do more. Um, Bi anna, I think it's not too difficult to remember because B is for because, right? B is for because. That's what it means. So if you don't know B is for because or because is for B, then please go back to school and do ABC again. That should be easy. It starts with a B and the meaning starts with a B too, right? It's because. Right, let me stop here. I'll give you a few seconds to digest them. Okay, inna, anna, ka, anna, bi, anna. Inna, certainly for sure. Anna, that, a connector that. Ka, anna is as though, as if. Bi, anna, because. 30 seconds. Take a look. Try to make them rest in your mind. Okay, very good. Harfs are so important that it can completely change the meaning of what you're reading in the Quran. So it's very important that you find time to keep them in your mind, memorize them in terms of meaning. And there's not just Arabic, of course, any language you do, there is some vocabulary you have to memorize. In terms of the wider vocabulary of the Quran, so our approach will not be to just go and keep on memorizing the meanings. We will inshallah do a completely different study called the study of sarf, the morphology, how words are formed. And that study will help you super, without memorization, create hundreds of words with your own mind. Okay? So inshallah, we will approach that way of building our vocabulary. But for these hurufs, it's important that we memorize them. Now, later is very difficult to express in English. So later is an emotion of extreme regret. When you are extremely regretful of something, That is what layta is. There is no one-to-one translation of layta in English as such. So for the sake of English, it is sometimes translated as if only, or in old styles, you might have heard the word alas in some books. So in Urdu, we say kash, for example. So kash maine ye kiya hota, wo kiya hota. So laita is that. Allah says in the Quran, Ya laytani kuntu turaba. If only we can become dust. That is for people on the day of judgment when they see animals becoming dust and they see that we are going to go in the Jahannam. They will make that wish. Ya laytani kuntu turaba. We wish that we become dust instead. Right? So that's in the, I think, Amma Yatasa'alun, the first surah of the Juz 30, the para 30. Yeah? It's the last ayah. So that's what layta is. So whenever it's extreme regret, it's layta. Lakinna, however, it's a plain however, and la Allah is perhaps, maybe, hopefully, la'allakum ta'qilun. आपने सुना होगा इस term को. لعلكم تعقلون. Now, if you look at la'alla, it's a harf of nasab. Kum is the attached form of antum in nasab form. That's its ism. لعلكم تعقلون, if you think. That's a fail. We have not done the taqilun part. But if you think, hopefully you will understand, or hopefully you will think about it. That's how it is. Okay. So again, I'll give you 30 seconds again to just keep those things in your mind. If you remember these meanings, it will make things much easier for you, inshallah. Okay, so 30 seconds, take a look, and then we'll move forward. If there are any questions, please ask. Okay. All right. So let's move on to your okay. So of course, I hope you know that your homework is to make sure that you know these meanings. Right. So let's make sure that you know them by the next class. Inshallah, that will help you. So we'll go to the exercise, and we'll look at this exercise a little bit again. I know some of you have done it. So if you have not done it, maybe you should do it. And I'll leave this exercise here like this for you to do, and we go directly to the Quran examples. We do the Quran examples together. So here are some Quran examples regarding the harf of nasab. Okay. Inna Allah, as you see, harf of nasab, and its ism, the word Allah, is in the nasab state. Okay. Annahum. So if you see that, it is basically two words, anna and hum. Hum is an attached pronoun. It's an attached pronoun of the hum. It's in the nasab or jar form, right? So in this case, because attached pronoun can only be nasab or jar, it will never be rafa. So because of the anna, it is going to be nasab. Ka'anna. Ka'anna fi uzunihi waqra. Waqran. Isme, can you spot its ism? Can you spot, anyone spot what is the ism of Ka'anna? in this entire script?
Yeah, dunya. Dunya.
Jay, which one?
Dunya.
Bakara.
The
Yes, the ism would be look the thinking. What's the thinking? What are you looking for? You're looking. You know that you have spotted the harf of nasab here, and now you are looking for an ism that is in nasab. Okay, you're looking for ism that is in nasab. The way your thinking should be going. So you go to the next word. Okay, is this a ism for in nasab? You say no, it's not. It's the fee, and I know fee from somewhere.
It's a harf.
It's a harf. And what type of harf is it?
Jar.
Jar. It's a harf of jar. Ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. Okay? So you will struggle to spot this if you have not got those harfs in your mind. Okay? So it will slow you down. So fi is a harf of jar that we did. And because it's a harf of jar, we also know that it does not tolerate the long distance relationship. We know that. Because it does not tolerate the long distance relationship, the word right after should be in what status?
Jar.
Jar. Should be in jar. And I find uzunaihi. Okay? And I find this word. Is this word in jar status?
Yes.
So we find a word which is a harf of jar. This entire thing becomes a harf of jar fragment, isn't it? Now, because it's a harf of jar, it cannot be the ism of ka'anna. So I move on. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go to this last one. Is this in nasab? Yes, clearly in nasab. Because it's in nasab and ka'anna needs an ism in nasab, this is the ism of ka'anna. That's how your thinking should be flowing. Okay, go word by word, and with just objective logic, you will find it. Okay, so the entire study that you have done, you have to bring it together. So things are starting to come together. Okay? Right. Zalika bi annahum qalu. Now I want you to spot the harf and also spot the ism of that harf. Where is
Bianna.
bi anna? Yes, the bi anna is
Before
here.
whom?
This is bi anna, right? So what's the ism? It's ism in nasab.
Whom?
Hum. It's an attached pronoun right after it. Right? Because it's an attached pronoun, cannot live alone. Kalu, I don't know what it is. Zalika is before, cannot happen. Right? So it's hum. So as soon as I found it, I don't need to even go forward from here.
Although it's always ahead, not before.
The ism will always be after. Never before. Later. Let's spot later. Is there a later? And what's the ism?
Third.
Third one.
Later.
Third, right?
Laitani.
So what is the ism?
Ni.
Ni. Now this is the attached pronoun of which pronoun?
Nahnu.
Think
Ana.
again.
No. Ana. Ana.
Ana.
Ana.
Ana. Ana.
Ana.
Ana.
Very good. Very good. Right? So laytani is a harf of nasab. Now, this is simple. There's just two words. Lakinna al-birra. Right? So these two are harf of, forming a harf of nasab fragment. La'allakum tashkurun. La'alla and its ism is kum, which is the attached pronoun of antum. So la'alla means perhaps, hopefully, maybe, And kum would mean you. Perhaps you, hopefully you. Tashkurun means will make shukr, will be thankful. Okay? So you got the idea. That's what harf of nasab is overall. Nothing more. Okay? This is what it is. Any questions? Anything remains unclear or confusing? Okay, so if there's no question and everything is clear, then I think the only job left is to make sure that you complete this exercise, please, and also make sure that you know the meanings. If you do need to go back, revise your harf of jars, please do that. Okay, so as we move along, these will become very, very handy. Okay. Okay. All right. So in the last 20 minutes, I want to start a new topic, which is going to be our second last topic in the study of ism for now. Okay. It's an interesting topic and something that I think you guys see a lot in the Quran. Okay. And it's about the pointers. All the time when we have been studying ism, we've been saying, okay, we'll do the pointers later, we'll do the pointers later, we'll do the pointers later. Now we'll do the pointers. Okay, and pointers are super, super important isms in the Quran, used in many, many places, and in any language for that matter. Pointers are very important. Okay? So they are basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are a few pointers in the Quran, and you know them pretty well in terms of your recitation. Okay, they're used to point to something. The pointers in English are, for example, this, that, these, those, and so on. This is the pointer. Okay, so this, that, these, those types of words, these are the pointers. In Arabic, of course, you know Arabic works in form of singular, pair, and plural. You will find pointers in Arabic like this, then both of this, and then you will find a pointer in the pair form, which is both of these, and then in the plural form, which is these, or all of these, or that. Then you will find them, for example, both of those and those. Let's first understand the principle. Let's take the two basic ones, this versus that. What is the difference? When do we use this and when do we use that? Any thoughts?
When something is absent, or far, you use that.
Far is that. And what about this? Near is this. Correct? And that's what it is. Okay? So that is used for something far. Far in terms of physical sense or far in terms of metaphysical sense. I mean, in terms of something that you can't see. Okay? Or a distant memory, for example. You remember that day? Okay, or so that something which is quite distant in terms of time or in terms of space. Okay, that's what you use that for, and this is for something near, and that same applies in the Arabic studies too. For this, in Arabic, the pointer is haza. You've heard about this word before? Haza. Now this is written like this and it's pronounced like haza. Haza. Okay. In fact, there is no standings over here. There is normals over here. But it's pronounced haza as if there is a alif next to it. But it's written like this in Arabic. Okay. Haza means this. this is a pointer which is near. So what I'm going to do is create a table of these pointers, and we take it from there. So just like any other ism, this is going to be plural, this is going to be pair, and this is going to be singular. Okay? The first ism, the first pointer is haza. Haza means this. Haza means this. Okay? And this is a masculine form of this pointer. Okay? Haza is for masculine, not feminine, just like in the ism studies that we did in the very early stages. Okay, the feminine form of the same haza is hazihi. This is also this, but it's feminine. And this one is masculine. Okay, haza and hazihi. Both are used to point to something near. Okay? And you see them in the Quran. Okay? I'll do the plural part first before I come to the pair part. Okay, the plural of haza is it's difficult to type as well. Ha-u-la, ha-ula'i. Where is the hamza? Ha-ula'i. You have seen this word in the Quran. Ha-ula'i. You've seen this word quite a lot in the Quran, used a lot in the Quran. This, of course, means these. The first row is masculine, the second row is feminine. So I'm not going to write M and F again and again. Okay. This means these. And the good news is it's exactly the same in the feminine case. Okay. Haza, ha'ula'i, hazihi, ha'ula'i. These are 4 pointers used for masculine and feminine in singular and plural. Okay. Good. Any questions? Any thoughts? Anything unclear? No? Okay. So let's do another column here on the right. And what I'll do is I'll write near here. So near effect meaning that these are used to basically point to things which are nearer. Masculine, feminine, and for near. Now we'll do the same exercise for far. You have also seen this word quite a lot in the Quran. What is this? How does the Surah Baqarah starts? Can anyone help me recall that? The first 2 ayahs of Surah Baqarah. Alif Lam Mim.
Tilka Zatil.
Zalika.
ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ.
Zalika. Zalika. Zalika means that. Zalika al-kitabu, that book. Masculine. That. The feminine part of Zalika is Tilka. Tilka. Tilka is also that, but in feminine. Okay. Digest this. In case of the masculine plural, We're talking about where is the oops. Ulaika. Ulaika ala hudam min rabbihim wa ulaika humul muflihun. Same surah. Ulaika. Ulaika means those in masculine. Those in masculine. Good news, same in the feminine. So the plurals are same, basically, for this and that. The difference comes in the singular. Haza, haula'i, hazihi, haula'i, zalika, ulaika, tilka, ulaika. Okay, I'll let you digest this. Okay. So what we're going to do is let's try to remember that feminine, this masculine, that masculine, plural, that feminine, plural. That's what we have done. Okay. Let's try to recall. There's one more missing. So this is this. Okay, this feminine plural. This masculine plural. This feminine. 6 of them. 6 of them. So I'm looking for this masculine. This one. This is the one I'm looking for.
هذه.
This masculine. Think again, Mustafa.
Oh yeah, هذا.
Haza.
Haza.
Very good. Haza. Okay. Now I am looking for, let's say, let's go plural of the same. Haza. I'm looking for this masculine plural. Yes.
Unai.
هؤلاء.
Haulai. Very good. Haulai. Okay. Haulai. I'm looking for, let's say, that plural feminine. That plural feminine.
أولئك.
Ulaika. Perfect. So ulaika. 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 Perfect. Okay. What about the masculine?
That's the same.
That's the same.
Aula.
That masculine is same. Okay. It's the same, no difference. Okay. But what about that feminine? Singular.
هذه.
Hazihi.
Tilka.
تلك.
Oh, yeah, no. Umar bhai, you You got me. I got confused
yeah.
myself. Tilka. Correct. Thanks. Tilka. Why did I do that? Okay. Tilka. Yes. Now you will never forget it. Okay. You'll never forget this one. Tilka. Okay. So, but what was Hazihi? What
This
was Hazihi?
female. This female.
This. Yes. This. Correct. Hazihi. Right. Okay. What about the this female plural?
Haulai.
Haulai.
Haulai. Haulai. What's remaining? We've done it. Cool. We've done all of it. Okay.
Zalika is missing.
We didn't write Zalika? Okay.
No.
Okay. So that would be what? Now let's go other way around then, because Zalika is basically
That ruler,
that.
masculine,
Masculine. Is it singular, plural?
singular.
Singular. Correct. Is Zalika. Okay. Okay. So these are the 6 key pointers that you should know. Okay. Let me come back here. 6 key pointers that you should know. Haza, haulai, hazihi, haulai, zalika, ulaika, tilka, ulaika. Okay. They're not too difficult to remember. Okay. Just keep in mind that all of these pointers that I've written on the screen, they are all non-flexible. We did that when we were doing the flexibility. We did that when we were doing the type of ism. We said, oh, pointers are always non-flexible. Remember them and we'll do them later. Right? So these 6 are always non-flexible. They will not change their form or shape or harakas or anything. And they can be rafa, nasab, and jar. The default status, just like pronoun of all of these pronoun or pointers, is rafa. Okay, when they show up in the Quran, the default status is rafa, unless there is an evidence they can be jar or nasab. For example, let's start with the most simplest one. So haza, usually it's the easier one, everyone remembers. So if haza is written independently, for example, hazal kitab, oops, wrong side, hazal kitab, okay, hazal kitab. So now this particular one is independently used and there is a ism after it. Okay, if you ignore this ism after it, whenever it's used independently and there is nothing to suggest that this could be a nasab or jar, you will always mark it rafa. But if I write a fi before it, if I write a fi before it, what should be the status of haza?
Jar.
Jar, because fi is a harf of jar. If I write ba, it should be jar. If I write ta, it should be jar. If I write kaf, it should be jar. Ba, ta, kaf, lam, wa, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. Everything. All harf of jars, if any of them comes before the haza and right after is the haza or any pointer, that is jar. But it's not going to show you that status. It's inflexible. Okay. So what is the status of haza? Inna.
Nasab.
Nasab. Because inna, anna, ka, anna, bi, anna, laita, lakinna, la, Allah. So haza remains the same. It's super inflexible. It's the context that will tell you the status. And if you have nothing to suggest that it can be nasab or jar, it is rafa. And there are two situations we studied in the past that when an ism can be jar. One, it is after harf of jar. Two, it is a mudaf ilay, if you remember, right? So if there's none of these two, then it's certainly not jar. In case of nasab, we have studied one possibility of when an ism is in nasab, which is harf of nasabs. Okay. So I'll leave it at that for now. In the next class, inshallah, we will expand a little bit more on them. So it's an interesting fragment that we are going to do. But what I expect you to do is at least nail this 6 down. Okay. So make sure that you know them with their meanings. They're easy, not too difficult. Probably you already know them. Okay. So inshallah, from next class onwards, we'll dive deeper into this fragment. The fragment we are going to do is called the pointer fragment. And it's very interesting fragment. Should not take long for you to understand. Okay? Not super difficult. Okay. All right. Any questions before we wrap up? Nothing? Clear? All right. I'll take it as a yes. So then, Jazakallah. Inshallah, I'll see you next Sunday. And make sure you do the exercise. Make sure you please go through these pointers. They are on your notes. I think they are in page. Yeah, they're in page 30. Page 30 of your notes. Don't worry about the middle part. Don't worry about the middle part yet. Just focus yourselves on the big ones in the white boxes. These ones. Haza, haula'i. Oops. These are the ones that I want you to focus on. Haza, haula'i, hazihi, haula'i, tilka, ulaika, zalika, zalika, ulaika, and tilka, ulaika. That's what you should focus on. These 6 only. Okay. Chale. Inshallah, I'll see you next Sunday, hopefully, and I hope that the class will be full, and inshallah, all of our brothers will join. Jazakallah khairan. Inshallah, I'll speak to you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hafiz.
Assalamualaikum.